Hey everyone, I'm Joe Bressler and I'm a filmmaker based in Brooklyn, New York. Today, I'm going to talk about a music video I directed in October for Tess, a musician friend I've collaborated with a couple of times on videos. This video was for the song Running Home to Sing from her latest album Pomegranate, which is amazing. The video is out now and I'll link it down below. The main idea for the video came from about an hour-long writing session I did about 3 weeks before we filmed the video. Prior, Tess had sent me a mood board of images she liked, so I could use those as a springboard for ideas for the video, and there was one image of a couple tied together at the ankles with rope that I found particularly interesting, especially because the title of the song has the word running in it. I thought following a couple that were physically bound together could be really visually intriguing. And I like the absurdity of them being tied up, but navigating normal activities and the implied power struggle between the two characters. I once again tapped Myles Caba to shoot this project based on our excellent experience shooting Seek Your Truth together. If you haven't seen that project, I'll link it down below. Myles has a great eye and they're an awesome leader on set, so it was a no-brainer to work with them again. Since the two characters are romantically involved and would be tied up for most of the video, on-screen chemistry between the two actors was important to me when figuring out who to cast. Being that I had to be kind of creative with the limited resources I had to make this project, I first put out an Instagram story to see who amongst my friends might know someone who might be available and right for the part. That's how I found the wonderful Sara Gutierrez and her friend Joey Demore. We shot the project on Myles' Alexa Mini OG and my FX3 package just because it's what we already owned. And for support, we used a tripod with a rolling spreader and the DJI Ronin RS4 for the gimbal shots. In my script, there were a lot of big zoom shots. The only way to get these kind of shots was to use the Angenieux Optimo Ultra 24-290. This is simply due to the range this lens has on the wide and long ends. Because we were shooting in black and white, matching this lens to my G Master 24-70 Mark II, which we used on the FX3 shots, was pretty seamless. Lighting-wise, we approached this shoot really minimally. We used a simple 5-in-1 reflector for balance in the daytime, an Amaran f22C, a Rosco dash light with Lumiere dome, and an Aperture B7C for the shots we did at nighttime with the lamp. Without further ado, let's roll the tape. Alright, so this is us getting set up outside of my apartment in the morning. I was the person who got all the props together for the shoot, including the rope, Apple, the newspaper, everything I found myself, which was a little overwhelming to manage, but it was kind of fun to do that job myself. All these shots are kind of in my old neighborhood that I used to live in, and I just remember seeing this bridge and just thinking how cool it would look to shoot there with the leading lines and the yellow lines on the ground. I'm really excited we shot here. So the lyrics of this song sort of, to me, represent this idea of kind of running home to something or running back to something that might be a negative influence on your life. And these two characters are in a relationship that is not going well. They both are sort of fantasizing about leaving the relationship, and ultimately they do leave the relationship, but they do come running back to each other for better or worse. I should probably stop saying one more time as a director. I really need to work on that. During the course of this story, they're so bound together that kind of accomplishing any sort of everyday activity becomes a chore and it becomes a struggle. So that's kind of what we're showing here in this first part of the video, is them just sort of stumbling around in this relationship that's not working. Remembered we had headsets and we put the headsets on. This is where we do the big zoom from across, 6 lanes of traffic from one corner to the next of our two characters reading a newspaper. So we definitely needed headsets to coordinate, action and camera moves and zoom ins and stuff for this shot. So I'm really proud of this shot. It's one of my favorite shots in the film. Here it is. But this actually took like way less time than I was expecting it to. I was expecting this to take like, well, I had 30 minutes scheduled for it, but I was expecting it to take like way longer. So I'm really excited about how this turned out in such a short amount of time. This is a park in Queens that I used to run in a lot, and it's so beautiful, and you would never know that this park is in New York City if you just saw pictures of it. I've shot a couple things here, but I always go back to it when I need like a park scene. Here the FX3 is allowing us to get this top-down angle, which would have taken a really long time to rig up on the Alexa. And yeah, this shot of them having pizza in the park is just another example of them struggling through a sort of routine activity because they're tied together. I think one of the things to note too about this shoot that was interesting was we just have so many locations going on here. We were driving around like all day to all these different shots. I think it was a little ambitious to try to squeeze all of them into one day, and we just made sure to keep the takes to a minimum when we were on location to allow for the time that we needed to hit all of these. We had a lot of shots in the script that were tracking shots, and it just worked out better to have the FX3 always built on the Ronin, and if you know me, I'm a huge advocate for the FX3. I love the flexibility of that camera, and it worked out really well for us to use that camera in conjunction with the Alexa. Filming on the train we kind of got called out by some cops there, and we told them we were just transporting the camera. Once we got up to this platform, which is where we really wanted to shoot, we were out of sight of them, so it worked out fine. But you know, you're not really supposed to film on the subway platform. We didn't end up using these shots on the train, but I just wanted to show this process because it was kind of crazy. It was a totally packed train. We kind of had to rely on luck to get a seat where we could do that shot, and it ended up working out. People were cool. People were really interested in what we were doing, so. And then yeah, them coming off the train. Again, really cool subway stations, kind of further into Brooklyn, near to Broadway Junction. Looking out best for the daughters of men. And then this is Myles' roof. This is where we shot the couple playing with a knife. So this knife scene is kind of a turning point in the story. We're following this couple, both kind of drag each other down or get in each other's way during the course of this story. And this knife scene kind of represents them flirting with the idea of cutting it off, and then also sort of kind of, you know, with Joey stabbing Sara's hand, it becomes the last straw for her. And here we are with the probe. We use the probe for a quick stabbing shot, and we're kind of just testing lighting with Joey's finger there. Joey's doing some stabbing. We used a fake knife for most of the shots, but we did use a real knife for that like stabbing motion, just so you know you didn't see the dull edge of the blade. And here I am kind of pre-cutting their rope, so we didn't have to use a real knife for this. We could use the fake knife, and Sara could just kind of pull it through like that. These, I crack up every time I see these shots because it basically just looks like we're chasing the actors down the street in this like unmarked van. But this was the only way to get these shots with kind of the equipment we had. We just stuck the FX3 out the window on the Ronin, and we got these really cool running shots. Some of them we did just at 23.98 normal shutter speed, 180 degrees, and then some of them we did step printing, which is like basically a way slower shutter speed to get that smeary effect. And we needed to flip the image in post. That's because the window we could shoot out of the van was only on the right side, and we needed Sara's screen direction to be going the other way. And this is the last shot of the film, last shot of the day. Our two characters come together after running in opposite directions from each other and possibly collide and kiss. This marks the point in the story where they decide to run back to each other or run home to each other, and it's up to the viewer to decide if that's good or not. There you have it. A bunch of locations one day, super run and gun shoot, but we had so much fun making this, and I'll never forget this day. It was really special. Hugs all around. The day we shot was such a special time, and I hope you enjoyed the video and learning about our process as much as we loved making this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.